And it looks like we are live.
Well, I'm alive. Are you alive, Craig?
I'm half alive. Yes, I've been almost alive all week. So, hi again. And last episode was very popular.
Yes.
11,000, 12,000 hits over the week. Pretty good. Lots of people watching it. So we thought we're going to pick up on the topic of royalty once more, but take a slightly different angle this time. We're going to talk about some of the things that happened to royalty, particularly, when they've had Queen Victoria and people like that, and things that they did with mediums and things. So we're going to pick up on a few interesting facts and talk about that. And then later in the show, we'll also talk about, and this is where we want your input a lot too. What did you think about the Netflix? Not Netflix, what's it? What was on? ITV, it was on. Not the Crown either.
No, you just
the
said
Meghan
that.
one, So we'll talk about your reactions to that and so forth. Because we talked about predictions about it last week. So we're going to say hello to everybody now. So hello from Jane.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah, Eclosion. Yeah, it's very nice to see you. We'll call you Ek. Hi, Kit. I've seen you've been putting. Thanks, Kit, for your posts as well. I saw you're a patron, and you've been putting up some nice, interesting questions in Patreon. And of course, I answer people's questions on video in the Patreon site. And Kit's asked some quite interesting ones. If you're on the Patreon, go and have a look at them.
Oh, that's a lovely name, isn't it? Prudence. Good evening from South Wales.
Prudence Crumblebottom. Yes. Yes. Very interesting family, the Crumblebottoms. Madge Britt, hello from Denmark. Love from Maybrit, wherever that is.
She just told you. That's Denmark. From Denmark.
Hello from New York City to the preeminent prophetic pair.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. Yeah, a bit of a mouthful, but I think that's pretty good. The mystic masters or the mystic couple. I don't know.
Oh no!
Somebody,
no.
I thought you'd turn that off.
No,
it's all right. You'll hear someone. It's creditors. It's nothing to worry
not.
about. It's just creditors. Hello, Agility Bits. Nice to see you.
It's Megan. She's heard you.
And hello, Lance. Hello, Lance from Carol Stewart, North Bay, Ontario, Canada.
Hi.
Good to see you. And it's Alex Forbes. Hi there. Hello from Southampton. And Steiner Anderson. Hello from Norway. Nice to see you.
It's a call from Hollywood.
Nana Rosebud. Hi, everyone from Totten.
Hi, Nana.
Jenny Nobis, good afternoon from Paris, Missouri. Hope you're surviving the lockdown. Well, we are. It's been a long one, hasn't it? When you think about it, last night was Shivarati, and I was in India for Shivarati last time. So I thought, well, it's a whole year, And when I came home, we went pretty much straight into lockdown, didn't we?
Yeah.
Jan here. Hello from Buckinghamshire. I so look forward to this chat with you both.
Hi, Jan.
Karina, nice to see you from Portugal.
Beautiful.
You look lovely with spring colours.
Oh, thank you.
It obviously means me.
Well, you can be the dirt in the pot, Sienna. And I'm the daffodil.
Hello from Atlanta. Hi there, Jay. And hi from Bognor Regis. Yes, we have all the mystical places of the world tuning in today. Hi from the Hill family. Ginger tea again. Hi, great to see you both. Hello from Kentucky, USA. Nice of you all to tune in so regularly. And it's great fun, isn't it? And have your questions ready today about the royal family for later on.
Michelle, hello from the mountains of Italy. Buongiorno.
Right. Hi, actually, the mountains of Italy were lovely, weren't they? We went up there. Hi, Jane and Craig, as Teresa says, from Warwickshire. Lovely to see you in your yellow this evening. Namaste from India. Namaste. It's 12:35 here, gosh. Sheila. You come in quite a lot, Sheila, too, don't you? Yeah, 12:35 a.m. So you stay up for this. You'll be up all night, won't you, with this one? Because we've got a second half with Domenico. It's about half an hour afterwards, the show, too. Tonight. Hello from Sue Beck, Hempstead, Kent.
Hi, Sue.
Hello from Ayrshire, Fiona.
Oh,
for God's sake, must unplug that next time. We're very sorry about this. Darn, did I miss the video? No, you're just in time, actually, Grace, because we're going to be going into, we're just saying the hellos at the moment. Jane's left her phone on, I see.
There's people turning up the door to see me now.
We've had a lot of people knocking the door today, too.
Of course, I hide.
Hello from my back shed. That must be Mr. Trump. Yeah, he's in the back shed. Hello, good evening, all here from the Czech Republic. Oh, from the Czech Republic, too, yeah. I know a Nardi reader that goes to the Czech Republic regularly. Lisa Butler saying hello from Stratford upon Avon.
Hi, Lisa. We're trying to talk over this.
Yeah, ignore that. Kimini's Cuisine and Homesteading. Hi from Niagara Falls, Canada.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to Niagara Falls. Remember seeing a film with Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, yeah, there was a good movie. I can't remember what that was called. Yeah, that was a great movie. I remember. Hello from Long Island, New York.
Hi, Diane.
So if you're just joining us, tonight's topic is going to be about the royal family again, but we're going to talk about some of the paranormal stuff that's been around them before. Hello from Greece. Yes, people are booking holidays to Greece now too, aren't they? Apple. Hello, Jane and Craig. Greetings from Switzerland.
Oh, lovely. We love Switzerland.
Hi, Craig. Shankila from South Africa, Durban. Hi there.
Shakila. It's a beautiful name, isn't it?
Hi, Miss Dawes. Thank you. I do look a bit like Diana Dawes, I must admit.
More like Larry Grayson. Shut that door.
How do you put up with him? Love to you both.
Oh, love to you, Anne.
Well, you're not coming again. Banner Dominica, you're in the background. Black Magic Woman's from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Now, that all sounds very exotic and interesting. And Dirk Katz, hello, is that the Muppet Show? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a bit like the two old guys up in the top that always moaned, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello from Munich, from Angela. Hi there, Angela. So if you're all joining us, we're going to be talking about royal things again, because it was popular last week. It was an interesting topic too, and I'm sure most of you have seen the telly show with it all. So it's going to be royal family and psychics, and sort of a bit of predictions possibly amongst it, bit of thought about the royal family generally and their interest in psychic things.
Yeah, and it goes back a
long way. I made a list here.
Yeah, with the Queen Mother.
Yeah, we'll get to. Let's just think about how royalty, first of all, has really been so involved in paranormal, particularly predictions over the time. I mean, we've got things, we go right back in ancient China, like I like the I Ching, right? And that was the oracle sort of done for the emperors, you know, and they would go right back. They think it goes right back even up to 5,000 years, so really early history. The court seers of Egypt, you know, they were all into this as well. And then the Oracle of Delphi, which we nearly went to this year, didn't we? We were going to go, we had to cancel a holiday to Delphi due to the coronavirus last year. Yeah, this time last year. And it goes right back. People like Charlemagne was all into it too. Oh, go away.
Hey, stop it.
I'm going to have to unplug it, Jane. Otherwise, we're going to have trouble all night.
Don't lose all my calls. What have you done? You unplugged the lamp, have you?
Oh, no.
Sorry about this. I should be a popular girl, should I? He's rung 3 times, this guy, trying to get hold of me. I don't even know who it is.
We don't even know who it is, just in case it was some problem person. I don't think it was.
He's seen us on here.
He's probably seen us on here and ring. So, sorry about that, folks. So, we're talking about... this is an interesting bit. It's live. Charlemagne. And I was talking about Alfred the Great, apparently, was all into it too. You know, Alfred the Great in Winchester holding the sword and burnt the cakes. He used to consult the Druids. He used to consult the Druids about prophecies for what should happen.
Yeah.
William the Conqueror. I looked all this up. I didn't know all this beforehand. But William the Conqueror, you know, we went out recently to the last video we put up with Rufus Stone.
Yes.
But they were the sons of William the Conqueror, weren't they?
Yeah.
And he used to consult the astrologers about when to have the coronations and things like this. And John Dee, do you remember?
He was a seer.
He was a really interesting guy. Do you remember we went and saw an exhibition in
Stratford-upon-Avon.
No, we saw an exhibition with him. He was involved there, I think, but we went and saw it in the British Museum, I think it was, and they had his original crystal ball. Do you remember seeing that? I was really fascinated by that. But
Curiosities.
He was a really, yes, it was at the Curiosities one, and he was a really interesting guy that even had his own sort of spirit language. He used to talk about the spirit world, and he was, of course, around the time of, first of all, of Queen Mary, and then Elizabeth afterwards. And he was the court seer, and he was like the British Nostradamus, really, because I mean he was into all sorts of weird stuff as well. Apparently a very intelligent man, and wanted to make the first sort of British library as well. So he was interesting. So all these people, and William Lilly was another one that was King Charles I. You don't know about this one, but King Charles I and Cromwell used to consult him. So it's
Cromwell used to go after women witches.
He was really anti it all, but he still consulted William Lilly because he was such a name. He was such a prophet in his time. He predicted, for example, the Great Fire of London and things like that, you know. But they don't treat us with the same respect now, do they?
Pudding Lane, you're talking about. Yes, I got you.
So all through, right the way through, and then modern history. And now you know more about this, I know, because we talked about it before. But Queen Victoria, of course, had her mediums.
John Brown.
Yeah.
Actually, we've been to a house, haven't we, in Osborne House, and you can feel the atmosphere.
Because John Brown became her medium. He was not their first medium.
What about the round table she had there? That's where they used to sit.
Yeah. Well, originally she used to work with this guy called Robert Lees, I think his name was, and she used to do. He brought through. It was not Albert, because Albert sat with him as well. So Albert was also interested in it. But when Albert died, obviously she got really interested in it, and all spiritualism was starting to sort of happen around that sort of time, 1846 sort of time. And it was all sort of big, you know, spiritualism was beginning to be quite huge. But it was this, Robert Lees didn't want to be the court medium. They actually appointed the resident medium. But John Brown, you know, that program they did on the films about John Brown didn't really get into the mediumistic stuff, did they? Really? You remember the program?
Yes,
we saw
I
it,
do.
didn't we? Didn't really get into it. But she was fascinating. They were friends for 30 years.
The Queen Mother was very interested in it, because I've actually been to the Broadlands, because I actually know the butler there and people. And actually, she used to love going there and consulting a medium too.
Yeah, she did. The Queen Mother was very interested in it. In fact, they had a sitting with Prince Philip, the Queen Mother. They all sat with a medium. I think it was called Lillian Bailey.
Alice Bailey.
No, Lillian Bailey. There was another medium called Alice Bailey as well. Yeah, they did a sitting. They did a full séance in Kensington Palace.
Actually, it's quite a spooky place, that Broadlands, because I remember going up the stairs and there's a big, beautiful oil painting of Edwina Mountbatten.
Yeah.
And I could smell all gardenias. And I remember saying, she wasn't the most attractive woman, was she? And suddenly all the lights flashed. I thought, oh, she's angry with me.
Yeah, that was good. We were allowed to go there. It was permitted because the Romseys were away, and we were allowed to go there to visit our friends who were the butler then. And so we were in the cottage off the main estate. But it was a spooky place, wasn't it? It was quite a place. So they've been interested in it right the way through the royal family. Of course, Diana was very interested in it too. You know?
Diana was, yes.
And even Charles was too, because when he went there was a story of him when he went to Hampton Court, and he believed, he said something to someone, it got picked up by the Sun or somebody, I seem to remember, saying that he felt the spirit of Catherine Howard. Would it have been the one that was there?
I don't know.
Yeah, and he said that he felt the spirit of Catherine Howard, and he actually commented and said that he thought mediumistic people were very special people. He's something to the effect of that. Very special people, he said, and that was a bit controversial because he's supposed to be the head of the Christian
and it
church.
does take a lot of courage to give the royal family reading, believe me.
Yeah, I bet it does. So so there's some of the thoughts about you know, the royal family have been quite interested in, even Queen Elizabeth, you know, a sack trying to connect with King George when King George the
Her father.
Sixth would have been died.
Her father.
Yeah, her father.
Because
And
he had lung disease because of cancer, because he was a heavy smoker.
Yeah. So they all sat round and did these seances.
Marvellous, our Queen, isn't she?
I think she's a pretty amazing woman. I mean, so she must have quite a spiritual side to her, I think. You know, she for her to sit with a medium as head of the church, you know, I mean, it's become a lot more, you know, defender of the faiths now, Charles calls himself. But that would have been right, well, I don't know when he died, 1942 or something like that. I think he died, something like that. The King George, wouldn't it? And so that would have been quite a thing to do. And in fact, in those days, she would have been breaking the law, actually, because mediums weren't allowed to work until after 1953 or something, with the repeal of the Witchcraft Act. Do you remember all that business?
Well, that must have been when Winston Churchill was...
Yeah, Churchill repealed it. But, you know, then there's all the Helen Duncan thing was going on around about that same time.
Because the secrets from the spirit world came out about... nobody's meant to know that people that lost at sea on a special boat.
That was right. That was the Helen Duncan case, which was pretty fascinating too. But she was actually jailed for being a medium, you know. And when we first started out with our work as mediums,
come to think,
we weren't allowed to do it on TV. It was against the rules. It was necromancy. It was,
come to think of it, I'm going off the subject a bit, but I believe Hitler had his own astrologer.
Yeah, Hitler had his own astrologer. I've forgotten his name now.
And there was 13 zodiac signs, not 12.
That's another idea. Lots of people did have consult. Even
your modern day psychiatrist,
president of Canada.
Your modern day psychiatrist.
Well, I think it's always been the kings and queens have always kind of wanted to know
King Louis,
the future. I don't know whether Louis did.
He did, the Sun King.
Yeah, I don't know if he had an. He probably
I think
did.
it was predicted.
I'm trying to think. Maybe that would have been Nostradamus would have been different time, 1555, wouldn't he, or something.
King Louis, and he had his brother, didn't he?
Yeah,
and that they did.
So we can also now talk a little bit about some of the other royal stuff. And we thought we'd just tell you a few things about, first of all, about the royal family, their interest in these type of things. But did you see the programme? Yeah, it was quite something, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I personally thought it was going to be more stuff come out.
Yeah, there wasn't that much.
Really?
But I mean, that was what Francine is saying here. Do you think it was wise of Meghan to say publicly that she had thoughts of suicide? And will she be suicide for going against the family? Would it be suicide going against the family?
I don't think she'd be suicide against the family, because I think she's got the love of her husband, Harry.
But didn't you tell me, she said she couldn't get any advice from anybody anywhere and everybody ignored her, which actually is always one of the big problems with anybody with any mental difficulties. There's never any help out there. But wasn't her mother a therapist or something? Did you
Doreen,
say?
Yes, she was, because she's very into yoga. And she actually went to Yogananda's retreat place, which is in Los Angeles.
But couldn't she have spoken to her mum?
And I think her mother does social work
and on
that
topic, they said when she went to get help, she spoke to something like the PR department or something. Did I get that right? And I mean, really, there must have been some more help in place there. I mean,
well, I suppose it's sort of keep the stiff upper lip, isn't it? Really, because they're all family. You mustn't show emotion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure with the nature of things there, it must easily get overlooked the stress people are going through. I mean, Diana was bulimia and things like that and all the rest of it. I mean, that was really severe mental stress. But, I worry with that, Meghan, and whether because sometimes, I mean, I have great sympathy for anybody that has mental problems, particularly really bad clinical things like schizophrenia and things. That's one of the most frightening, horrible, difficult illnesses to deal with.
Or people trying to take their life that need help. That's so sad.
But then if people use this idea that I was ready to commit suicide and I was under mental stress to that level, I think, and I personally felt, I mean, I don't know because I wasn't there, but you do worry that people kind of use it as a weapon, which is something that really is, you know, and it's not fair on those people that are genuinely under severe mental stress. I don't know. I just didn't feel comfortable with what she was saying there, you know, and I know that's terribly controversial to say that. But I just didn't feel comfortable with what she was saying, you know. I felt she was using it to push her own agenda. And that's what I felt all the way through. She was pushing her own agenda.
And why would the Queen be racist when she's travelled to South Africa and all over the place? I don't feel that for one moment.
I think the Queen must be one of the most unracial people on earth, really. I mean, she has spent all of her life helping the Commonwealth and helping to bring people together under one common ideal, really, hasn't she? And so she has met every person from every ethnic background you could possibly imagine. I think there's
some more trouble to come from Meghan yet, we'll find, in the next few weeks. And there's going to be a lot of trouble regarding Prince Andrew in July, because that's when the case comes up.
And like I said, last week we were saying that it's going to backfire, didn't we? You know, and it kind of hasn't backfired in America, because that's who she's talking to, isn't it? She's talking to her American audience. She wants to be, you know, you don't invite a George Clooney and you don't invite Oprah Winfrey to your wedding, who you've hardly ever met, only met once, unless you've got some kind of reason that you want to.
I think we turned them down coming to us.
They weren't allowed. They weren't allowed. I said, George Clooney, no, I'm sorry, it's full. My auntie wants to come.
I said, Ricky Martin, no.
Yeah, and so all those had to be turned away. So, yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it, about, you know, is there some hidden agenda there right from the very, very beginning?
And Sheila says, do you think the British royal family will last after William? Well, I think it's wonderful that we have got a royal family, and I hope it does, but it's been predicted that William will be the last king.
A lot of people have said, and I kind of feel the same. I just somehow think, I don't think the royal family as we know it now
be more modern,
will survive after William.
Be more modern.
But I think it would be changed beyond
it's
recognition.
Too old-fashioned and traditional.
Yeah, I just don't think, you know, because, you know, Britain has changed so much over our lifetime, and how much more will it change over another generation? You know, I mean, it's a very different mix of people now in Britain, a very different mindset. I'm surprised you know, those old ideas of the royal family and that could even survive this long. But it is a kind of a unifying factor for us. I mean, you look at the royal families of other countries. I mean, what other countries got? Holland's got a royal family, hasn't it? But, you know, I remember seeing Princess Juliana, Queen Juliana, I think it was, when I was a boy of 6 and I went to Holland and we waved as she went by. I was really excited by it. But, you know, they play in the background, you know, same with the Spanish royal family, same with the Norwegian royal family. We hardly even know that they're there, do we? You know, Agility Bit says, Meghan sounds as if she wants the royal titles and the free security, but isn't prepared to give anything back. What is she bringing to the party?
I think you don't automatically, if you marry somebody in the royal family, become a princess or a prince. Those titles not only have to be earned, but they have to be passed down by the Queen. I mean, Princess Anne didn't want her children to have titles, did she?
No, she didn't. No, she was. In fact, a lot of people who would have been higher in rank to Meghan didn't want titles, did they? And I think, you know, is that part of what she, you know, is that kind of part of what her plan was? You know, I know I'm being very anti-Meghan, but I can't help it. What I see there is somebody that I felt was a manipulator and caused terrible problems for the whole nations, you know, because it's really something that unites the nation. You know, and this is a divisive attitude.
Well,
I think
years ago, you wouldn't be allowed to marry anyone in the royal family if you didn't come from an aristocratic background. And Meghan's been married before. I believe he was somebody that ran a talent agency, and he was a film producer. And I believe she was married to him for 6 years. And then she moved to Canada to do Suits. And I felt he had to travel backwards and forwards, and he had no idea. And then she ended the marriage.
I think Meghan just didn't understand what the British royal family was about. I'm sure she looked all up on Facebook. She says she didn't even know who he was.
There's a photograph.
She looked at it all.
When she's about 15, a photograph of her with a friend on a railing outside Buckingham Palace, sat there in front of Buckingham Palace having a photograph.
Yeah, there we go. So she knows who the royal family are.
Knew where Buckingham Palace was.
I'm sure she had her mind set on that.
But then, to be fair, I do feel it's really sweet that Harry has met somebody that loves him and he loves them.
Separate,
I think that's quite
and that's
sweet.
right. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, if they're a happy couple, they should be, and if they want to live in America, they should be, but they shouldn't be taking with them anything like titles or anything else, because the titles come with the service to the Britain.
All right, Joe. Why has media been engaged in Meghan when Andrew needs to be addressed? Oh, don't worry, he will be coming July. You can't just sweep it under the carpet.
I think the opposite, Jane. I've been saying all along. I just don't think Andrew's going to be pulled out as he should be.
Well, I think he should be stripped of his title.
He should be stripped of his title. Absolutely.
And
so he
going
should.
with young girls, it's not on, is it?
Yeah, and you know, the public deserve to know these things as well. We say that there's a lot going on with Meghan and that, and it's all cover-ups and all the rest of it.
The trial comes up in July.
But God, I don't know whether he keeps getting away with it, and in a way, it may be why the royal family can't really respond too much to the Harry Meghan thing, because it's going to stir up sleeping dogs with Andrew. In fact, I think they've been trying to keep their head down, keep the lid on it all. You know, let Andrew disappear quietly. You know, and we can bring other forces into play and keep the people's attention.
Yeah.
Do you see, thank you for your donation, Neil, thank you. Do you see William's children getting married to any members of the other royal families around the world?
I do.
Interesting question, actually.
George comes to mind, and I'm drawn to Monaco.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
And because they've got twins, a boy and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely.
Okay, well, there's your question. There's your answer to that one, Neil. And that would be very interesting, wouldn't it?
Of course, they've got to grow up, haven't they? They can't be like Indian marriages and reserved.
I was saying that I felt that one of Harry and Meghan's children, and I'm not sure which one, whether it's male or female, would become a politician in America, and even stand for maybe not for the presidency itself, but certainly very high up, so I feel that they might become governor of a state or something like that, so there's going to be some very interesting stuff in the much longer term. I'll probably see that on my deathbed the way it goes
off with his head.
Yeah. So anyway, that's something I was feeling as well. It wasn't clear to me who they were blaming. The royal family, the bureaucrats behind the firm, the media, the press, everyone but themselves, or the way they have.
Now you be very careful, Jan, because she might be after you.
Yeah.
Anybody that gets in the way. Actually, she does go on Instagram every day, and somebody puts several negative things, and she did respond to it, and she gets very angry.
Yeah, you see, really, what she should be doing, if they wanted to step back from the royal family,
step back.
Step back. You don't go to Hollywood. She went to Canada. No way was she going to stay in Canada. They were out of Canada like that, weren't they? And straight down to California, where she'd already planned in her mind that she'd go down there where there are George Clooney's and things. She'd already thought Hollywood. She thought, I'll get my title. If I don't like it, I can walk away.
You don't think she's applying to be the next James Bond female? Because they were looking, weren't they?
God, yeah. What do you think? I've not really thought about what a role she might ultimately do in Hollywood, if any.
I know that she was looking to be a voiceover in The Lion King.
I think she's got that. I believe. I think
she hasn't got that going to be for Walt Disney. It's just that's.
Oh, I thought that had been agreed.
No, it hadn't been agreed. When they were in England queuing up or wherever, Harry turned around and said, actually, you should be a great part in The Lion King and that. They turned her down.
Most anything being sold to Britain, I don't think she'd that most people in Britain now, the larger percentage now, don't like her at all. I mean, the polls that have been really, really negative towards her. Less so in America, where they think, how brave of you to stand up for all the problems you've had. But, you know, I think we kind of see through it a bit. And I don't think she'd be popular here at all. So it would have to be something that's an American show or something. Meghan and Harry are millennium children born in the 1980s. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. They seem to be more sensitive and not so willing to obey and play the game.
Well, Craig was born in the 50s and he don't play the game.
I was born in the 50s. Yeah, well, we all became rebels, didn't we? I mean, we all became non-conformists and trying to shake society and destroy everything, you know.
I think things have changed in the 21st century. I think women know what they want. I mean, years ago in the 50s, you had to
But I think what she's saying, she's pretty indulgent. And, you know, and, you know, I hurt. It's me. I hurt so much. And it's this victim thing. We were talking about it last time.
Leos, see?
Yeah.
Not that all Leos, but that particular Leo.
Yeah. It's you've got to always fear the female lion rather than the male one. They're more fierce. What do you think Diana would think of all this with Meghan and Harry?
I think she would be generally upset.
I think she would.
Because she loved her boys. And the thing is, all she wanted was her boys' happiness. And I feel that she's still is queen of people's hearts and she would have embraced it. And I think she would have told her off. But there again, I think Meghan would have played on Diana, and I think she's played on Harry with the Diana card.
Yeah, well, that's right. Meghan is trying to be the Diana image, isn't it? She's a Diana clone. She's trying to be. You know, she's trying. I'm just like your mother. I hurt just like your mother did. I've been abused by the royal family, just like your mother was. I feel at the edge of things. I mean, I can imagine. You know, and Harry, who in his own life, in his own thoughts, in his unconscious mind, he must be always wanting to heal the problems with his mother. It must be there, walking behind the funeral ceremony, didn't they, as kids? You know, how it must have sunk so deep.
Upsetting.
So there must be a huge part of him that just wants to heal the problems of his mother. And then along comes a woman who says, heal me. I'm just sorry, I'm hurting. You know, I think he's been played, you know, and so sorry that, you know, at least they can't chuck us off this show. Like Piers Morgan. Peter Bray, could there be 3 royal deaths in the next 18 months? Charles is 73 this year.
We don't really.
I don't see that happening.
No. Well, Prince Philip's bound to go, isn't he? He's getting on for 100.
Well, he's gone. We can't say, can we? But I mean,
I don't want to see any of them.
I just want to say, I don't want to say negative things really about any of them, because really, I think our positive thoughts towards people help them to overcome illness. Healing is a thing that we send with our thoughts. So we think negative, horrible things about people's with their health and things. That's not very nice. So I don't think so, you know. So we try to avoid predictions of deaths as psychics, don't we? Prudence, crumble bottom. Thank you, Prudence. Crumble
that reminds
bottom.
me, I was going to make an apple crumble for you tomorrow.
Thank you for making a donation too there. I feel that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are reluctant to disclose the entire truth, and that hinders their case.
Well, there was something definitely going on between Kate and Meghan, because when she had that green dress and pillbox hat on, there was like looks to kill. I could see both of that, and they all ignored her. I saw that.
Yeah,
they did all ignore her.
Yeah, but what a fuss she made of that. But I suppose it is quite a
it's
heavy
horrible,
thing,
isn't
though.
it? Really?
Yeah, it is.
I don't agree with that.
No, and it must be easy to feel completely isolated. You know, I mean, coming on the positive side of Meghan's thing there, you know. It's
and I loved the wedding where they had gospel singers. I loved it, and they had that coloured vicar. I thought he was great.
Yeah,
did you? I thought he was great.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. So Joe Cooper saying the media are to blame. Well, yeah, they are up to a point, aren't they, Joe? I mean, terrible bloody things the media get up to with them. They seem to think that, as they do the same with psychics, actually, too. They seem to think politicians, royalty, and all the rest, they're all fair game. You know, they're just fair game. They're people we should knock down. So we had some of it in our time, you know. So the media are to blame. I think Harry fell in love, and they both realised that life in the palace wasn't for them. It is a backward society. I suppose it is in many ways, isn't it? When someone blames you or something and says that you are a bully, you can't say something publicly when you get the chance you would. Yeah, well, that's true as well. I mean, none of us really know what goes on behind closed doors. I think, you know, like the last post said, you know, there's hidden stuff there too that we don't know. We don't know the whole full story, do we? You know? And it's a shame, but you hear, I suppose, the problem is anybody tells the story, they're either had to sign the Official Secrets Act, so they can't say anything, you know, so you can't get it from the staff, really. And if anybody else says something, there's always this money involved. That's a big story. We'll put it in the papers, in the tabloids, you know, and so it always gets skewered on a simple thing said can be blown out of proportion. You know, I mean, Meghan's father, didn't he? He said that he thought, so well, maybe someone just said something about, you know, about the color of the baby. Maybe someone just said something stupid, you know, oh, you know, I can see my mum saying that, you know, what color will it be?
Oh,
you know,
horrible.
and although it's a horrible thing, some people's mindset doesn't think that would be offensive.
All children are beautiful,
you know.
whatever color they are, all as one.
But someone could have just said something stupid, you know, but then it got blown out of proportion, perhaps. Oh, thank you, Aries Rainbow, for making a donation. Meghan thinks she could outsmart the Queen. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Stop playing the Diana card, William. Lost his mother too.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, 100%, actually. I mean, that is absolutely true.
You can see it.
You know, you don't outsmart the Queen. She's very, very clever. And I think her response, actually, although I'm sure there's a whole PR department there behind it too.
So it's private matter.
It's a private matter. And I mean, that puts it all in perspective too. This is a private family matter.
That's right.
You know, it's not a public, this isn't for public consumption. This is something about the emotional side of our family, isn't it? Which he says. And that's for us to sort out, not for the newspapers.
The Queen has
not for Ropery.
The Queen has put up with a lot. Look what happened to Princess Margaret. They wouldn't allow her to marry Peter Townsend.
Yeah.
And so she was
stuff.
Wild and that, like drinking and parties.
Yeah, she was.
She?
Yeah. And I think she is. I mean, I'm very much a non-conformist in my views of things, but I got to admit that woman is a pretty incredible woman. The things she's done. When you follow the story of her right away from the times of the Second World War and the rest of it.
Ginger T says, can you explain the animosity between the two brothers and will it be healed? I think at the moment, William is extremely angry and really is going to go for him because he's hurt, because his father's hurt,
isn't he? Yeah.
Because, and also, you know, you don't go, and they insulted his wife in a way, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they really
that's bullying mentally, isn't it?
Yeah, publicly went for Kate, didn't they?
I can't see that,
in
Kate.
a way.
I can't see that Kate being a nasty person. She's very dignified, and she's never spoken out of turn about anybody.
She does seem to have handled things in a very
well, she's future queen.
In a way you would expect of people in the royal family. You know, they're supposed to be able to be unflustered, aren't they? They're supposed to be dignified.
Yeah, and
there's no dignity in what we saw.
And I did read an article where they said that Meghan was slamming the doors in Kate's face, whether that's true or not.
Yeah, keep putting your comments, folks. And if you come onto this after we've gone live, we still like your comments because I think it's really interesting the debates that happen on some of the comments.
Another thing I want to say. After we come off here, you might get a scammer that pretends they're a clairvoyant or a medium, and they say, please personal message me and I'll give you a reading. Don't fall for it because they're doing it every week to
that's
people.
On Facebook. We'll always get these. Even when you ban them, they put up new profiles every week. And there's some nasty people out there jumping on your problems and trying to rip you off. So be careful of those people. So 00 Nikya says,
Oinka.
as US and UK have different mindsets and cultures, what probably plays a major part in this? Can you see any benefit coming out of either this to the royal family or the nation? Anything positive coming out of it? Interesting thought. I mean, we have focused on how destructive this has been.
Yeah.
The most positive thing would be get rid of Meghan.
Yeah, but I think Nostradamus did make a prophecy that the royal family would go down like a pack of cards.
I don't know. I can't remember the Nostradamus exact things on this at the moment, but I think it is damaging.
Yeah.
I think it is a great, I think the worst thing about it is such a loss. I mean, Meghan could have been such a positive player in the world. I mean, forget about Hollywood and all this Hollywood career she wants. If she'd have done her the true service, she would have been a unifying factor through the world for the nations of the world, because all the people in Africa and India and all the nations of the world, because I mean, all the ethnic groups that what used to be the British Empire and is now the Commonwealth, all those people would have come together under her with a real unity.
Yes.
It would have been more. She could have done more than the Queen could have done. So what does she do? She chucks that role in, and Harry too, because he was a well-admired person for his down-to-earth sort of, boyish sort of ways, which was nice. They could together have done major things for the world, but instead, got focused on this self-seeking, me first, on my egotistical role as a film star, really, and spoilt something that I think would have been absolutely precious, not just to Britain and the Commonwealth, but to the whole world. We need factors that bring people together, not factors that. So maybe if something good comes out of it, maybe we've learned lessons from this. The royal family don't seem to learn lessons very much, though. But maybe the rest of us have learned lessons about the importance of bringing people in the world together, because I think there's going to be so much need for this in the future. There's so much divisions within societies. We need the opposites to the Meghan. We need people who can bridge the gaps between both religions and race.
Right, Helly's House 13. Did someone say Jeremy Carl? I think he was banned.
Yeah, you chucked him out, did we?
No, his show was taken off air, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Belladonna's Art of Healing. That's nice.
No coughing, Craig. No. I've noticed that. Yes, I do cough a bit. I talk all day long, you see, because I'm doing readings on the phone. So I'm talking constantly, nagging Jane for my dinner. So I suppose it does happen because of that. Black Magic Woman says, will the children of Harry ever have a relationship with the children of William?
I can see they will have a relationship. They're big cousins, won't they? They will. But it's got to be a lot of healing take place. I think
they will.
They will, but I feel Meghan will try and protect them, I feel, and keep them away because she's hurting.
Yeah. I think in time, bridges will be built between them all again, because the Queen seemed to want to. I mean, very clever answer she gave to it all in that written response, but I think genuinely she was sorry.
Yes,
because obviously it's her son, isn't it?
No, it's not her son; it's her grandson.
Her grandson, rather. Yeah, I'm no bloody good at this.
Keep coughing, Craig.
But it's her grandson, and you have this extension to your grandchildren that you want the best for them all, don't you? You want the best for them. She loves them all. You want the best for your children, and you're even softer on your grandchildren. You're harder on your children. It normally is the case, but I think with the grandchildren, you're super soft. You want to see them.
Yeah.
You want to see them happy. You want to see everybody happy. But I think with so I think the door's open. I think, and I think well, my feeling is, as we've said before, is the marriage between Harry and Meghan, we feel won't last. But Harry would therefore probably come back to the UK. But I think there might be a lot of attempts to bridge the gap in time, though. You know, his brother must be so upset with it as well.
Well, I think they're all family,
Yeah,
especially Charles.
you imagine if it was your own family, you know, what a division, you know, what a major division. It's like, it seems unhealable at the moment.
Right, is Spirit Files. Do you want to read this?
I'm in the US, and the general consensus here is that Meghan is honest. Yeah, I know, different view in America. In regards to the colour of the baby comment, though the process through the process of elimination, we know neither the Queen nor William said it.
Well, we don't know. We don't know who said it, do we?
Well, and who said it? It could have been some minor. It could have been Andrew. You know, already the blackened name.
Head, then, if he did say it,
but
that's terrible.
I mean, nobody should say it, but maybe it was just said.
All babies
silly,
are beautiful, whatever colour they are. They're all beautiful.
But I don't think, you know. Again, I feel as if, I don't know, the race card is used like a nuclear button all the time on so many things, and it shouldn't be. I don't think it helps. It creates division. You know, it creates division when you keep using it. You know, and I think she used it for her own purpose.
But she might be feeling like that, Craig. You don't know.
We don't know. I don't know. So I say,
like
you obviously
that.
on one level you think, oh, that's a terrible thing, you know, because there shouldn't be no divisions like that.
It must have been awkward for her, though, to go into the royal family and you're of mixed race. It must have.
But you shouldn't. You must not use that as a tool as well. You know, it's equally, that should not be used as a tool as well. And I have a horrible feeling that she had an agenda. You see, that's my feeling. I'm sorry, I'm very negative to her.
And she never lets go of Harry's hand, does she? She's always holding on to, because years ago in the royal family, they weren't allowed to hold hands and all like that.
And it's such a shame because she was the perfect person. I mean, it was so good to have someone of mixed race in the royal family. What a wonderful thing that was, you know. And then it turned, it was just traumatic as Othello was in the end.
LJL 87.
Okay, can you do a video discussion regarding the spiritual center you seek to create? I would be interested in finding out more information. Yeah, well, we're going to put a little bit in the intermission. I made a little thing up about a little bit about what it is and what we'd like to do, but I think it would be nice to do that, and maybe that's one we could do also with Domenico and the family.
Yes,
would be nice because we all got views about it, and also we kind of all got a little bit different view of what we'd like, the way we'd like it to go. I mean, I see a first step with it is to have a media sort of center, to be a bit more, you know, an online thing, because obviously this is important to reach out to people. But it would also be lovely to be able to have a situation, whatever the center's like, but to have a situation, for example, where Jane and I can demonstrate our mediumship to people. Like we do it in Spiritualist Church, but you couldn't go setting cameras up there all the time. But like things like the John Edwards show and like other shows that have been on television where the medium works to an audience, it'd be fantastic to be able to do that on a live setting. Because, you know, all the stuff you watch of mediums on telly has been edited and edited and edited. They say it over and over again until it's cut into a point that it all looks fantastic. That you can only really judge mediumship when it's live, because then you can see that it sometimes takes the medium quite a while to get to the answer. You know, you cut out all the boring bits, but it don't work like that.
And I would like
so that's part of it.
Yeah, and I'd like a centre that people come and share, and possibly could stay. That's my vision.
And also to develop the ideas of healing much more, and also some of the teachings of meditation and the teachings of Kriya, for example, and the things that I've learned in India, and about using and yoga as well, but also using the idea of using your karma in such a way, actually doing good acts to change your karmic course. So it was partly about changing your life and using the power of karma, but through good actions at good times, just like the Nadi taught me, and also about awakening, which is not so much connected with karma, that transcends karma. But all these sort of ideas and these teachings, that's the core of it. Even if we had a tin shed somewhere, we could do it properly, but somewhere comfortable and hopefully nice.
Right.
And so anyway, thank you for supporting us, those that have been helping us with
Joe says the race card has to be used as there's so many things that happened today. My boys tried straight in the head, we accepted at school. Well, I think if that was me, I definitely would go and complain to headmistress or headmaster. You've got 2 boys, haven't you, Joe? But definitely, I don't think that's right, really.
No.
Do you?
See, people.
Children can be cruel to other children
they're
too.
monsters. Anybody that's different, they go for you, don't they? You know, or anybody that shines, they go for you. You know, I mean, when I was first at school, I used to keep my head down because I didn't want to show that I could do all the stuff that the teacher said.
You still keep your head down.
Yeah. But you know, you deliberately underachieves because you were scared of getting punished by the teacher and all sorts of things. And you know, so yeah, the way schools work, yeah, it's very, very difficult. And the race thing, you know, I've said before, unity in diversity. That's what our key must be. We must always think about there's unity. We're all human beings. We're all spirits in bodies. The bodies are all different, like there's different cars and we're driving them around, but we're driving around in different bodies. But the spirit is always the same.
Right, you different spirit. Nana Rosebud, did Meghan not sign a non-disclosure from against giving out private details relating to the private lives of the royal family? Well, she should have.
Yeah, I don't know how. I have no
idea.
idea.
They have to sign
no
they have
idea.
To sign
Interesting
confidentiality.
Thought, yeah, I mean, I think.
We had to.
I mean, if that had been anything other than the royal family, because the royal family don't normally respond, do they? You know, if it had been anything, if you'd have been in Hollywood and you'd done that, and you said, "I'm going to blow the beans on my marriage," you'd be sued, and you'd
most of the people that work for the royal family are ex-naval.
Yeah, it's as if they knew they were a soft target. They could get away with it, you know. And that, to me, was, I think, doubly cruel, you know, and doubly unfair, really, because the royal family can't answer back, really. You can't take the Queen into court, can you? You know, it's never going to happen, you know.
I think people see through things as they really are.
Yeah, I think you can't fool everybody all the time, can you? You know, I mean, I think the American public have been a bit hoodwinked because they've looked at it and they've fallen for this victim thing. But I think the British public have been a bit more perceptive about it. Personally, I think they can see through
isn't it?
Well, also that it is that, and not everybody in the UK, of course, thinks the monarchy is a good idea. I mean, a high percentage don't like the idea of the monarchy at all and think they should be chucked out, and they haven't even us discussing it, and the rest of it is a terrible thing, you know. And I can understand that viewpoint too. But yeah, it's a difficult question. So last questions for tonight, guys. Okay, so don't forget to remember to like and share this video. And if you haven't done that yet, and also subscribe to the channel. So if you're coming here for the first time, subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, share it, please. Share it, because even if you share it now, it will still be seen by people after we've gone live and people can watch it. And thank you also to the patrons, which we've mentioned before, because you're helping us to keep this going, and you're helping us to with our ideals to take it to another stage. We want to take it to another level. And if you can help, you can also give a contribution either as a patron, or you can use the GoFundMe site, which is a new one we've set up, and you can make a contribution, large or small, on that one too. So all of that helps. There's the URL on the screen at the moment for that, but it's also in the description below, in the description on the, if you're watching this on a computer. So yeah, so that's great. So, and if any of you want to join us sometime online, we will do some stuff with you live later on, because there'll probably be more when we get the studio together, but we also want to bring in a live audience, and we want to bring in individuals that want, anybody that would like to share their ideas with us on things like reincarnation or whatever, you know.
Or a few hexes for the future.
So I don't know if we've got any more questions, final questions there. And then we're going to have a break. And after we've done these final questions, we're going to have a break. And
do you think that the Queen will return to Buckingham Palace? I reckon that she'd be too frightened to now. I don't think she'd be frightened. She's got high security.
No, she'd just do what she thinks, wouldn't she? That's definitely, she's nothing would faze her.
And don't forget, the Duke of Edinburgh's in hospital in London, isn't he? So she'd want to be nearby.
I expect her mind is more on that. And there might be a lot not being said about that, because they said, oh, he's only going in for a routine.
Been 24
and
days.
It's been a long time.
24 days.
You know, so in his heart, which is another serious issue. So I expect her mind is much more on more serious issues than have been thrown at her, even though these have been serious constitutionally. But I mean, think from her point of view, it's been important. Have you, and Mark's saying here, have you heard regarding the royal psychic to the Queen Victoria offering his help to the police in the Jack the Ripper case? Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that, Mark. That's interesting. That was the Robert Lee's, I presume you're talking about, or John Brown. That's probably Robert Lee's story, I expect, because he was a very, very interesting person, Robert Lee's, and a very humble person. He was only a teenager when he was the medium to the Queen.
Didn't they used to think that the first Prince of Wales was behind it? Jack the Ripper?
They had all sorts of facts. We're going to do a program on Jack the Ripper in due course, but we want to go out and film for that and not just do it from here. So that will be an interesting one. Amy is saying, do you think the Queen and Prince Philip will see Archie and his new sister in person before they pass? I'm sure that will happen.
I don't think the Duke of Edinburgh will.
No,
I
probably
don't think
not.
he will.
No, I think the Queen will. Yeah, the Prince Philip.
I think
probably not.
Harry is very close to his grandmother, isn't he? And he loves his father. He stated that.
Yeah.
And
these rifts can last for a long time, because when people sort of throw down the gauntlet in this sort of way, even in a normal family, when people do that sort of thing, it can cause much more serious divisions than they ever anticipate, you know. And I think it's going to be quite hard to heal the rifts. But I think the Queen is still the person who, at the moment, can bring it all together. But
where is Boo?
Oh, he is. You probably see every now and again we keep looking down.
He jumped over my lemon tree just now to go over there.
Yeah, he's around. He's the star of the show, really. But we haven't seen him much lately, have we?
He comes in.
He's got his food down there, actually. So he comes in, eats his food, goes off and sees his girlfriend. Yeah. In fact, sometimes some of you who are watching us here, he comes in our house and then goes over to yours as well, doesn't he? Our neighbours. I feel the Queen is very perceptive, and she and MM as an M in number. Yeah, she has. Yeah, she can see right through it all, can't she? She knows what's going on. Yeah, she knows. She knows the story, and she's been here a long time, hasn't she? Really. She's had to deal with all sorts of people, prime ministers she probably didn't like, you know, and all the rest of The Crown did some pretty good stuff on all that too, didn't it? The Netflix movie. So yeah, who knows? She's probably seen more and has a greater understanding of what makes the Britain work than any person ever.
Patrice said, I think the Queen should now step down and make William and Kate king and queen and let them clean the phone. I don't think
it's not possible.
I don't think the Queen will do that, because she'd want to.
Charles has got to be king next.
Yes.
So she's probably hanging on, because I don't think she's felt very comfortable with Charles as being king, and I think she's going to hold on, and it will be Queen dies, Queen is dead, long live the king. It will be. She will not. It will. Charles won't come to the throne, and I think he'll have a very short reign, actually. And he would not come to the throne until she dies. She's never going to abdicate. Anyway, we're coming up to an intermission now. I'm going to have a bit of Jane's cake, which you've made for us today, and
it's called mind-blowing cake because I put some poppers on. I wasn't going to tell you.
She was going to trick me. Actually, she was going to put some of that space dust in it and not tell me.
Let me and got
caught her out.
Yeah.
And then. So we'll have a little intermission for a while. So you've got enough time to probably put a cup of tea together. And then we're going to, just at the end, we're just going to have a short time, half an hour, just having a chat after the show with Domenico again. You know, so it's just more casual. So if you want to continue watching and stay with us, you know. Otherwise, we'll say bye to those that.
And I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll leave it to Craig and Domenico.
Aren't you going to bring me a cup of tea then?
Definitely not.
Okay, so just to be a sort of a light chat about things afterwards. Okay, see you soon.
Would you like a personal psychic reading? Visit psychics.co.uk for quality international readings with Craig and his team of clairvoyants. improve your life, and find the path to a better future. You can book readings by phone or email. For a quality reading, visit psychics.co.uk now. They are the real deal.
Hi, I'm Craig Hamilton Parker, and you've seen myself and my wife Jane on our YouTube channel, in which we've been talking about all sorts of spiritual things and trying to do something important in the world. You would have seen that we've done a lot of spiritual work, and particularly charitable work, in India. We've given cows to old people, we've helped orphans, we've helped people that are hungry and kids that are hungry and beggars and so forth, all through many of the donations that have come through to us at the Hamilton Parker Foundation. But we want to do much, much more. And the most important thing, and that's where we're trying to raise money specifically here, is we want to open a spiritual centre. Now, we're not talking about religion. This is spirituality. Anybody that's followed us on our channel will know that we're trying to encourage people to become more spiritual. And you don't have to be religious. You can follow your own religion. That's fantastic. You know, you might gain from that. But we're trying to do something that will reach everybody on a spiritual level. Now, we've been doing things like meditation. You know, we're both mediums, so we're very interested in the idea of the afterlife and connection with the spiritual world. We also have been doing predictions about politics and things like that, which, you know, have been kind of helping people to think about these things. But also think about these things in a very spiritual way and understand that each of us has to awaken. But we need somewhere to do this. We need what we want to do, our first step for the first stage of a spiritual centre, is to have kind of like a media centre. Somewhere where we can get all the filming done and present stuff in a very professional way, and also be able to have guests and people in and be able to just be able to go there, have it ready, set up, and we can produce much, much more work. And this also will give Jane and I more time to be able to do these things, be able to get involved and spend our years doing this and to help make the world a better place. So anyway, you can help. So if you can give a donation to this page, it would be fantastic, because it would help us. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I know that from many of you that have known us, some of you celebrities out there that have been to see Jane and myself as well, you can help. You know, give a substantial amount if you can too. Give a big amount, you know, because we're going to need much more than this. And, you know, we're not gaining from it. It's not for us, it's for everybody. So if you can help, if you're inspired by what we've been trying to do online, please do give a donation, and it would be absolutely fantastic for everybody. We can make the world a better place between us, can't we? Okay, well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving your donations. Okay, see you soon. Bye for now.
I can't hear you, Craig. I cannot hear you. Is your mic on? Craig? I bet he went to the toilet.
Mic is on.
He went to the toilet, didn't
I
he?
was frantic trying to make a cup of tea in that amount of time. But I've got my cake, that Jane's made today. So she makes a cake every week.
I got my Prosecco.
Yeah. Oh,
Talk about
so
royals.
we'll take a few more comments from people, but it's just a chat now, so those that are joining us for the last part, it's just a sort of unwind period. Do you have a royal family in Italy, Dominica?
Oh, no, we kicked them out.
You kicked them out? When were they kicked out in Italy?
Oh, long time ago, actually. Let me just give you the date. It was the Republic, the Italian Republic was declared officially 18th of June 1946.
Oh, not that long ago then.
Yeah, they were completely kicked out of Italy.
Really?
They've been out till in 2002 they came back.
Oh, did they? There is still royal lineage there then of some sort. There are some people walking around who can say I could have been king or queen.
Well, technically I should be a baron.
Oh yes, I forget. You've got that in your family, haven't you? Yeah, you've got your Baron. Baron Vittel.
I should put it on the door here.
You should go under forget about the Dominico business. Baron Vittel's mystic insights.
Yeah, no, actually, the story of the baron is true. My father did the family lineage, and found out that actually the family was coming from different part of Europe. And actually, I found the family logo, how it's called, that medieval
heraldry
in Czech Republic in a castle. Maybe that's why, although I'm Neapolitan, I have white skin, blue eyes, and gray hair.
Okay.
Instead of being dark skin with dark eyes.
So maybe you could have been royal. That would have been good. Can you use the word baron?
Technically, I can.
Oh.
But I would love to, because I was looking into it. If you remember, when I came here in the UK, I was looking into it. And I would love to have it translated and officialized here in the UK.
Yeah.
But then every time I will have to announce myself, it won't be Mr., it will be Baron.
I'm watching the comments coming up. People are saying, wow, maybe ours will be cooked out too. I see there, Suzanne saying. And oh my gosh, he looks exactly like my nephew.
Oh, do I?
I see. We also got, I am a distant descendant of Robert the Bruce. That's a good one. And I know we've had some others on here. I know Jonathan was found out he actually checked his comes on as another regular visitor, checked out and found he had royal blood in his family.
There are people out there, although I have my vision on the royalty, especially for what they're doing. They aren't actually doing anything. The Queen is not allowed to put any words on the country's politics, and the same for the Spanish King and Queen. They cannot say anything about the politics. If Boris Johnson will go to the Queen and say we're going to be in a dictatorship, the Queen cannot give anything, cannot say anything. She just have to allow it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so why she's there is just a figure to remember of the British Empire and the kings and queen that were over the country. Plus, it's more of a, how to say, for some people is a touristic place. How many people are coming to London just because they want to see Buckingham Palace?
Yeah.
For some other people is remembering
really like
the old times.
It's not like, royalty is no longer royalty like it was. They've got no power. And like Gillisy Bits here says, there's millions of people with royal blood, she says. There are. I mean, in fact, they reckon that we've all got genes from Genghis Khan, because he had so many children as they raped and pillaged all across Europe, and right up to the doors of Europe and Austria, but all over the world.
Alex says it's
We all have
nice
a bit of
history.
genes in us.
Alex says it's nice history. That's true. It's nice history. It's interesting.
It is. It's interesting, isn't it? I love history.
But to be
James
fair,
VIII
let's
was
be
here in Paris, exiled. Fancy that? I didn't realize that either. Wow.
let's just stop for a minute, okay? And let's think about what's going on with Meghan and Harry and the Queen and Philip and whatever that is going on, right? They are there just because they are a figure that is one of the most famous figure in the world, but it's a bit like actors. But what are they doing? Well, I mean, if they split from the royal family or if they go back with the royal family, all these things, what's going to change in our life? Absolutely nothing. There is no change whatsoever. And just hate.
That's putting space dust in this.
Plus, all this story is just going on because there are the two sides. Well, there is the side that wants to kick out the royalties and the side that loves the royalty. But there isn't that thought that people should have, that is, they are doing nothing for my life. It's not going to make any difference. Beautiful, amazing history. They're there. Nice. But do I have to be angry for what is going on? Do I have to hate somebody, whichever side you like?
I think
No,
a lot of
you
this
shouldn't.
whole thing with the royals of all the world, really. I mean, it's a terrible thing to be born into privilege, really, just because of your bloodline, you know. And it's kind of, you often you look to the royal family, for example, and say, oh, they do all this wonderful work for the world, but actually,
Which
we're
work? They ain't doing any
it's our
job.
money. And the
They're not
people that
doing any
really do
job.
good charitable work are ignored. You know, the people that just got a little bit and help the person around the corner that needs some medical help or something. You know, those people
the royal family has been shown pretty well in the Crown series on Netflix. And it's basically what everybody already knew. They have protocols to follow. They cannot express opinion, whether good or bad. And they basically have to cover their asses all the time. And to be fair, I was reading comments of people saying, oh, Meghan said that she felt suicidal. Why didn't she ask for help? Those are people that never had the feeling of feeling suicidal. You're not going to find help. You're not going to look for help. You have this thought in your mind and you know that you're going to do it, and not by telling to everybody. It's hard for the person that is depressed and feels suicidal to go to somebody and ask for help. It's really hard. And if it's hard for the normal person like us that can easily express his opinions, imagine how hard it can be for somebody that has to be in silence and has to be with a smile on their face all the time because they're a public figure.
We had a lot of comments tonight, I see. Lots and lots of comments. I'm just scrolling down. So many people making comments about this. It's definitely something that rubs us all of us up the wrong way in both sides of the Atlantic, isn't it?
But that's the thing. Lisa says it's a public family feud. Nothing more, nothing less. But that's it.
It is. Yeah, that's true, actually. That's an interesting comment, because the Queen says her answer is, well, it's a private matter, isn't it? So we have to discuss this. I mean,
And what
bring it down to earth, you know?
What I really, really don't like and piss me off a lot is the fact that people are using the royal family and everything that is going on as a point to talk about left and right, liberalism or not. It doesn't have anything to do with that. People grow. There is a change in time. In the old time, for example, women weren't allowed to vote. And if you were talking with a person that grew up with women that weren't allowed to vote, when the women were finally allowed to vote, they will say that it's a stupid thing. And that's the same thing here. Meghan, Harry, they grew up in a different era than a lot of us. And they grew up with different type of people. Harry grew up mostly with Diana. His brother grew up following the father's steps.
I think one of the things, though, is that it acts as a stabilizing influence between generations, really. It's like it gives... That's why they're so slow to change, because it's the idea is that, you know, the royal family are there as a kind of a rudder, in a way they like to think of it as, that there's something that is represent the slowness of change, just like the religions tend to do this too. They change very, very slowly.
But you
So
see, DJ,
it's not natural for any of religions or royal families to change with the times.
DJ says we are being asked to accept someone's truth, even though millions of us feel it's just a lie. How does that not affect us? Well, I can ask the same question with Trump. I can ask the same question with Andrew. I can ask the same question with all the other people. So I'm sorry, if we have to accept your point of view, you have to accept our point of view. They are not going to affect us. They split from the royal family. Who cares?
Yeah.
Are they paying my mortgage? Are they paying my bills? Are they paying charities? No, they're not. They're just there as a figure. It's like you take a beautiful egg, a golden egg, and you put it on your shelf. It doesn't make any difference in your life. You cannot sell it and you cannot get money out of it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. But why argue if it's gold or if it's just yellow? It's just because people want to find excuses to fight and to argue and to hate, because hate is what is bringing everything. And we saw it with Brexit, we saw it with the coronavirus, we saw it with so many things. Hate is what is the engine that is making this society lead.
By the media too, isn't it, really? Because if you watch news, I mean, when I was a kid, you'd watch the news on the telly, or Grandad would have the news on. You weren't interested as a kid, and it'd be saying things in my era. It'd be saying, "Oh, Cambodia's just been invaded from Vietnam. The war here is extending." They just report it and say factually what it was. No speculation, or very little speculation, and much more just sort of present the news. Now we have news becomes entertainment, and I think that becomes a bit dangerous, really, in my mind, because news becomes something that you're thinking about and everybody's talking about, and people think it was positive because it's politics. It makes you think about it all, but really we overthink it. It becomes something that causes sort of an underlying anxiety in the world. That it's not
anxiety. It's not anxiety. It's not anxiety whatsoever. It's people that have delusion, people that have these old feelings, people that have not a nice life, and they need to find something that will make their life better. It's like somebody that is like, I don't have a house. I live in a council house. I live out of benefits, but I have the Queen, and I'm better than you because I have the Queen. How many people? I mean, if you go and you read the stories, how many people, British, are going to Spain on holidays and then they complain that there are too many Spaniards? Like, what? Like, seriously. For example, there is another point that I don't see people discussing. Barbados are removing the Queen as head of state. Why nobody's talking about it?
Yeah, that was kept quiet.
There are news all over there, even on the BBC since last year. That's another really...
That's kept quiet because they don't want others to follow suit. So they make it that they play it down.
But then it's the same with Prince Andrew. You think it's going to happen something? Absolutely nothing to him. It's going to be protected.
Jane said she thinks he'll be brought to book, but I really don't think so at all.
It won't.
They won't. Anything like that, they'll cover it up. And I think it's in the interest of politicians to cover it up, not just the royal family.
They won't even cover it up. They're going to slowly let it move away.
Yeah, that's right. Quietly
distract the people with something else.
Just take the energy from it, until everybody's forgotten about it.
And that's the problem. People are thinking that we paid the interview. No, we didn't. That's paid by the
in one sense, it's a bit of a blessing in disguise for the royal family to have all this going on with Meghan, because it takes everybody's eye off the Prince Andrew, because God knows what else you could dig up from that lot. I mean, that was real serious, possibly jail sentence sort of stuff.
Yeah, but you see, that's what pissed me off. If it's something that you hate, people are complaining about it. If it's something that you love, people are not complaining about it. Like, I was reading some comment, and people are saying, "Oh, they're getting paid through our taxes. We are taxpayer. They get our money. If they don't want to be royal, they cannot be paid anymore." Well, first of all, they're not paid anymore. They're being cut off from the royal assessment.
Quite a few people commenting on the fact that we support them here. And someone I also was interesting. Oprah Winfrey paid $9 million for that interview.
That's not true.
Is that true?
Like, where did they read them? On Facebook? Well, Facebook doesn't have the truth. Put the proof, put the facts, put the invoice,
and then you don't know if that's true or not. Okay, that's an interesting fact. I bet, but there's definitely money there, isn't there? That must be that program must be bringing in vast amounts. All the second rights that they sell over to all the different places in the world. You know, they'll do.
Craig is not the only one. Craig,
Islands, Nigeria, everywhere. You know.
Craig, every single little show on television. And as you know, I had the interview with Channel 4 today. So I've spoke about what's going on in the background. And it's everywhere. If I'm a TV show and I know that you will bring me money, I will call you for an interview. I will accept that. Whether I will have people that will hate me or people that will love me, I will accept it because I know that I can ask millions to the advertisement companies. Like, oh, you want to put your ad for 30-second ad whilst I'm doing the interview? That's fine. It will cost you £2 million. And this company will pay because they know that there are 1 million people watching. And that's the same with everything. People are saying, I told people they got paid $9 million for the interview. Where the fuck they found this news? On Facebook for sure, 100%. On the social media.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. But people obviously get the facts, but they get half facts, so they can't. You don't check up every source. You know, you expect in a newspaper, for example, that your sources would have been checked. You know, and if a newspaper like Meghan wants to have a big Daily Mail of a front page disclaimer about things they said, you pay the price if you say something wrong. But the problem is on social media, we're all fed a load of nonsense a lot of the time, and everybody thinks that there's a huge hidden agenda out there of crazy things. You know, the big huge conspiracy. Everybody's thinking conspiracy theories. Now, it doesn't mean to say that there's not bad things hidden away, because I'm sure there are, but the problem is it gets exaggerated in everybody's mind, and the world today is living in a sort of paranoia because of it. I feel, you know, it's become, because we don't know the truth, and because social media is feeding us clickbait all the time, because half the stuff that goes on is because it's a great headline. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter, you know. And it's creating very, very, very bad energy in the world. I mean, I think the news and I think television has always been misused, but it seems to be even worse now. We have social media in the mix as well. You know, when will we ever get time? Like, I was listening today to a fantastic piece of journalism, but not many people listen to of broadcast. I was listening to In Our Time with Malvin Bragg, you know, about the evolution of talking to all these interesting people. And I think, well, that is the sort of stuff that not many people listen to. You know, everybody wants the trash, you know, and the problem with it is we end up with a world that is really going down the drain because of it, because it's got to the point where you couldn't get lower with the rubbish that we're fed and the misinformation that we're fed.
But Chaos here says CBS paid Oprah $9 million to interview them. Okay, that's believable. I mean, because it's Oprah, it's not them being paid, and Oprah is a celebrity in the US. But it's the same for other people. If you look at the Saturday Night Live show, the host gets $525,000 a year just for that show.
9 million is probably underestimate about what the value of that show is worth. That show is worth a lot more than $9 million, I reckon, Chaos. I reckon it's even worse than that, the amount of money that's in this.
And even if we're 9 million, people are complaining, they're saying Meghan and Harry have been paid $9 million for the interview. And they're complaining about it because they say it's taxpayer money. First of all, it's not. It's the television company that pays for it. But why is nobody complaining about the $500 million paid last year for the renovation of Buckingham Palace? And those were taxpayers' money. Those were our money, yours and mine, and all the people
Yeah.
here that are in the UK. Nobody's complaining about 500 million. 500 million pounds.
I know.
That's a lot of money. The track and trace system that Hancock handed to his friend, 37 or 32 billion pounds. You know how many NHS staff salaries we could have increased, and for how long with all that money?
Well,
And
we
it
do
doesn't
focus
even work.
our money in the wrong places, don't we? I mean, the whole structure of the world, really. I mean, how in this day and age can people starve? You know, how is it possible that people can starve when we're all throwing away food and we're buying stuff and there's built-in obsolescence and everything that we buy? How can it be possible that people can starve? And yet they do, you know, and we're talking about vaccinating everybody against coronavirus, and yet there's still people. We're only just recently got to the point where the polio vaccinations are beginning to wipe out polio and things. I mean, the whole world is completely bonkers. That, you know, I mean, if you've spent any time in a third world country, I mean, particularly the African sort of countries, I mean, the poverty there in those places, you know, it's unbelievable. Really,
but the
and
people
so
want
and then the money we spend on the Queen, or the money we spend giving all this money for an interview of somebody going on about how she hurts, you know, it's shocking. Really, it's shocking the way the world is focused.
But you see, the main problem is that people are behaving like 12 years old children. That's the main problem. Arguing with each other. It's the fight of the poor. As my mom used to say, my mom always says, the poor's fight. You fight against the two billionaires fighting with each other. And what's going into your pocket? Oh, you don't want lies. Oh, it's so bad. Are you 12? Or are you an adult and can change channel, or just don't care about these? It doesn't make any difference to your life. Getting angry for these things.
I thought when I was in India, you wouldn't see a picture of prime ministers or queens or anybody on the walls in offices and things. You'd always see pictures of Gandhi everywhere. You know, I think we need more. We need better models. Really, we need better heroes. We need better people to model ourselves on. You know, if you think about it, I mean, the royal family is another one. It's a kind of an ideal again, isn't it? It's like a model family, you know, which should be all perfect for everybody. And then we look at film stars and the rest of it, and we're setting up standards that we should all be sort of aspiring to. And yet none of these people are very spiritual. None of these people are very kind. None of these people give or care or have love in their hearts. They're all false, artificial, cardboard cutout people, aren't they? And yet we're being presented with this all the time, and even worse through the advertising. So I hope that in the future of the world, we start to refocus our values. I think this coronavirus is making people rethink things a bit.
No, it's not.
Well,
it's not making any difference. Some people are, but a lot of people aren't. And you can see it from the simple quote. If a person comes out saying, I have suicide feelings, and you say, I don't believe you, you are one of the causes if that person will die. If a person says, I have suicidal thoughts, you have to be there to help that person.
Yeah, I think by default, you must take it very seriously. You must, by default, always take it very seriously. If anybody has any issues like that, absolutely, that's got to be taken seriously. Even if they're crying wolf, you've still got to take it very seriously. Because, like you say, you know, it's
even if they're faking it.
Yeah.
First, take it serious. Help them, and if they're faking it, you will discover it, and then you can start to argue with them.
And who knows? You know, I mean, we all seem to think that Meghan. Well, I certainly don't. I feel that she does seem to be. I couldn't see genuineness in her eyes when she was talking about that. I do feel that she's exaggerating the truth, but you know, it definitely should bring perhaps to the public fore that we should pay attention to people. Definitely, you know, it's one of the issues that the royal family has been sort of putting on their list, isn't it, of what they feel that the mental health, you know, should be something that they're promoting. Let's hope
It has
that
to be.
is promoted more because of this. Perhaps that's one of the good things that will come out of this.
DJ here says, without the royal family, our tourist industry will go down the toilet. That's why we keep it all going. So
Yeah, well,
basically,
that's true
DJ is
enough.
saying that the UK has absolutely nothing to offer but the royal family for holidays, for tourism. Like if you go to Italy, you got the sea, you got the mountains, you got the food, you got the different regions that offer you different things, you got the views and everything. And the UK has beautiful places to visit. The Peak District, for example, that's amazing. With all the nature that is around, there are a lot of interesting places. Cornwall, for example, is another nice place to be for a holiday next to the sea, and you can go swimming and camping and enjoying some ice cream. There are mountains. There is everything, even in the UK. If the story of the tourism without the royals were full, is because that's what people have created out of it. And
Absolutely.
again, the story is pretty
They're
simple.
definitely. I think that you've got a very important point there. That it is still. It is tremendous for the country in terms of a tourist attraction, but it's also a fantastic piece of PR that millions of people watch a royal wedding or a royal funeral we might get soon, perhaps, and the rest of it.
I'm absolutely fine.
It's better for the country, but it's such a. It seems
I'm absolutely
I'd
fine
rather
with
we
it.
had better values, better people.
Don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely fine with the royals as a tourist attraction. The thing I'm not fine with is that people have to fight over which royal is the best, which royal has problems. Harry and Meghan going out and making it an international situation when actually it doesn't make any difference to your life. It's just gossip. It's like watching, as I posted before, it's like,
and have people come and visit them, a bit like they go and see the tomb of Lenin. Anyway, we're going to have to finish now, Domenico, because I'm getting a hell of a lot of noise.
Kids screaming in the background.
Hungry.
But yeah, all in all, just to close, what I see from what the people are commenting in the video today, what the people are commenting on the social media, the news and everything, it just looks like an international episode of Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah,
that's what it
someone
looks
commented
like.
on that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And yet it affects the world, it affects all of our thinking,
It affects the thinking, but it doesn't affect actually your life. If Meghan was staying royal,
we'll be thinking all these negative, stupid stuff when we should all be thinking about the meaning and purpose of human existence, not about whether Meghan did this or did that.
There are so many important things out there that are more important than all these. And we're talking about our loved ones. We're talking about our own problems. We're talking about our countries. Those are much more important than people just saying goodbye and leaving and all this fight.
And also, actually, anybody that has been watching this and still interested, I don't know if you've seen our Princess Diana stuff that Jane and I did. But that's on the channel here too, if you go and have a look for it, where we did the seance to communicate with Princess Diana. I tell you, that was a taste of very similar to the sort of energy that surrounds this program we saw with Meghan and that, where you've got this real tension with the press and everything. So yeah, have a look at that. I think you might find it interesting. Okay, we're going to say bye now then, Domenico.
Yeah, good night, everybody. I know now you all hate me. I saw people saying that I'm killing the topic, but I'm sorry. I just don't like when people start to make all this fuss about celebrities, basically, in the end. Anyway, thank you all for watching tonight.
Yep, and thank you for your work in the background there, Domenico. It'd be absolutely fantastic. Keep them all under control.
And buonanotte a tutti. See you later.
And ciao for now.
Ciao.
Bye.